Hello, everyone, and welcome back to JAS Reviews. My name is James, and on this channel, I talk about music and movies, along with the occasional commentary piece. So, if any of that sounds interesting to you, then please be sure to give this video a like and to subscribe to my channel to see more content like that. And today it is time for a video I am very excited to be making, and that is the last of my list videos for at least the music portion of list season, and that is the top 50 best songs of 2023. This year was a pretty great one for music, and to be honest, there was quite a bit of stiff competition. Metalcore absolutely killed it this year, as you are going to see by how high I rank songs within that genre. But still, I did try to keep this list as varied as I possibly could, and because of that, I do have a list here that I feel pretty satisfied with. Of course, I wasn't able to hear everything, no one is, so if you have any recommendations or would like to let me know what your favorite songs of the year were, then please feel free to tell me in the comments because I'd love to check out more music that I didn't get the chance to hear. But let's not waste any more time because we have a lot to get through. This is the top 50 best songs of 2023.
I spit it on the mic, feel it. Y'all can't do what I do, just admit it. I'm about to get it, money, get it, drop it to the floor. Shake my big bitties, bopping like did it, my face.
I'll be honest, I'm not the hugest fan of dubstep, so it was pleasantly surprising to me how much I enjoyed this Skrillex track. It's just irresistible. The beat is catchy, the drops are well executed and easy to nod along with, and Missy Elliott's flow is so smooth and so much fun. This one would go off in a club setting, and I just couldn't get enough of it all year long.
Crazy. I feel the rush, addicted to your touch. Oh, I feel the rush. It's so good, it's so good.
Troye Sivan embracing a brighter, more optimistic pop palette for his new album this year was the best decision he could have possibly made. This song is one that is easy to get into the vibe of right away. You can feel Troy's euphoria of this new relationship he's in, especially in the chorus with these very well executed gang vocals. The immaculate production is a nice cherry on top, and this track just goes down smoothly. Unfortunately, most of Pierce the Veil's new album this year didn't stick with me as much as I wish it would have, especially after a pretty long 7-year wait. But this song most certainly did. It's a reinvention of Pierce the Veil's sound, done in a way that will make old fans happy and new fans all too eager to latch on to what is in front of them. Crushing guitar work and Vic Fuentes' signature vocals have only gotten better, and it just makes it easier to remember why I fell in love with this band in the first place. Coming off of a very disappointing album, where it seemed like there was no hope of the ongoing concept coming back together, they pleasantly surprised this year by coming out with a new album that was reimaginings of their old songs, to the point where they are just new songs overall. Really cool concept, really cool idea, and I think the ongoing concept nailed it here. This track blows the original melody out of the water. I just love how unpredictable and atmospheric this song can get. The usage of synths, which transition into massive breakdowns and barely controlled chaos, is exactly what the ongoing concept should sound like. And man, it's so great that they do.
Baby, how you get in my head, running around, just in the top, figure it out. I know.
Even though the rest of Emarosa's album this year didn't really stay with me, I kept on finding my way back to this song in particular. It has the irresistible 80s grooves that this band had already started crafting on Peach Club, put into a context that is hard to not be singing right along with as soon as you hear it. When this band is firing on all cylinders with this soundscape, they really do it well, and that is most clearly the case here.
Oh, if you ask me then where I wanted to be.
Kesha has somehow done the impossible and made a song that might be even more devastating than Praying, in terms of the subject matter at least. The whole of her album Gag Order saw her trying to process the aftermath of her assault in the most raw way possible, laying her vulnerabilities bare. What was delivered was an album where you can't look away at what is clearly in front of you. This song is maybe the most musically simplistic on the album, just a delicate piano playing and Kesha giving one of her most subtle vocal performances to date. But that makes the lyrics here stand out all the more, as Kesha desperately wants to try to find happiness more than anything else in the world. It's heartbreaking to listen to, especially with lines like, "I remember when I was little, before I knew that anyone could be this evil," contrasted with lines like, "I refuse to be jaded, still painting rainbows all over my face," in a chilling reference to one of her best songs to date. Kesha navigates light and darkness here in a way that is an emotional roller coaster to listen to. There's genuinely so much to like about the way that As Everything Unfolds is evolving. They are continuing to embrace Charlie Rolfe's incredible vocals, letting them take center stage and absolutely soar in this track. I love how she's able to still impress on a more traditional pop rock sounding cut and bring the themes of the song home for the listener. I am always gripped by the way that the gang vocals come into the track as well to emphasize the subject matter of the human condition to sometimes feel more comfortable in darkness than where we're actually meant to be. Not to mention that the song is criminally catchy and one that I can't help but sing along to anytime I hear it come on. I had not delved full on into Metallica's discography in full until this year, which is a bit of a shame on my part, but nevertheless I am glad I did because I got a more full appreciation of their impact on the metal scene. Modern day Metallica is playing it a little bit safe, but that doesn't mean that they aren't releasing some fun bangers. Far from it. The title track from their album marks probably their best return to their thrashy roots. While it's not as electrifying as cuts from Kill 'Em All or Ride the Lightning, this song can more than hold its own. The guitar solos are fun and long as they should be. The lyrics might be a little dime a dozen, but it creates a very arena-friendly feel, guaranteed to make this song pop off in a live setting.
Drink too right, nothing more to say. Drink too right, they told themselves to be a clown.
Gorillaz collaborating with Thundercat feels like a pairing so obvious that it's surprising it didn't happen earlier. And yeah, what they create here is absolute gold. The combination of soulful R&B and groovy synth pop is a match made in heaven. Thundercat's gorgeous vocals contrast really well with Damon Albarn's more straightforward, monotone delivery. It makes for a playful back and forth that is easy to buy into.
You had yourself on the leash. Moral mind of a fool that never lies.
This metalcore supergroup is going places, make no mistake of that. This song comes off of an EP that was only the first sampling of what this band is capable of. And man, what an impressive feat it was. This song wastes no time in airing out its bitterness, specifically surrounding how Every Time I Die broke up. This band is pretty clearly targeting one specific person, and the venom, it is absolutely vicious. This song absolutely goes off, and you can't help but headbang along.
Can't bear to keep it. I'd give it just to keep.
This is my latest entry to the top 50, as I didn't end up checking Mitski's album out until December. I'm glad I managed to set aside that time though, because otherwise I never would have had the pleasure of hearing this masterpiece. This song really takes its time to build its foreboding atmosphere. Mitski takes you into her mind, offering to give up her soul, not for anything in return, but just because the tribulations of life are too much to bear for her. The music does a great job representing this, especially in the shattering outro that left my jaw hanging open the first time I heard it. This song is something special. You don't want to miss out on it.
I want that real thing. Baby, you look to me like you're the real thing.
Poppy continues to show an incredible knack at being a genre shapeshifter. She's been able to go rather efficiently from pop to metalcore to alternative rock to now industrial and electronic. With each change, she manages to make the genre sound distinctly her own, and that certainly holds true for this song Knockoff. I love the building menace in this track as Poppy contemplates whether she truly will ever be able to find real emotion in her music. It's interesting to see her have a real struggle with her music persona versus her as Mariah. It creates a really cool dichotomy that is fun to watch in real time. Plus, the dark pulsating beat propels the song forward and makes it an undeniable burst of energy. This song is built for the nightclub life, and there is no problem with that at all.
So why don't you say it? Your lies made us believers.
We're at a time right now where a lot of bands that I thought would never come back are proving me wrong. The metalcore scene is one where this is happening quite a bit, with probably the most surprising comeback, at least for me, being Woe Is Me. And man, what a comeback it was. This is the biggest return to form I've heard in a long time. I love a redemption story, and this song is the definition of that. Every member of the band is on their A game. It's nice to see Aaron Bond back in this band after the way he was treated by Tyler Carter when he was a part of Issues. His screams are just killer here. This song calls out the hypocrisy of political leaders who are comfortable in their high towers while leaving everyone else to rot. Hans Allgood's superb singing voice brings forth this fury, and a chorus that might be one of my favorite in metalcore this year. There aren't many songs out there that I would say send genuine dread in me when I hear them, but this song is definitely one that fits the definition. What Humanity's Last Breath crafts here is a song that feels like it shouldn't exist, like it comes from the depths of the underworld, and I say that as a full compliment. They build something here that can only be described as otherworldly and terrifying. The death-rattling screams here, along with choral vocals that make you feel like you're being inducted into a cult, put me in a headspace that no other song was quite able to accomplish this year. When the vocalist screams out, "Instill them with dread," this song does exactly that.
Everybody knows, catch me or I go Houdini. Time is passing like a solar eclipse.
If you watched my best hit songs of 2023 video, you'll know that I mentioned a Dua Lipa song would be making my best songs list in general, and well, here that song is. This song more than deserved a spot on this list, as it hooked me from the get-go. Dua Lipa takes what works best about future nostalgia and pushes it forward in the best way possible. This song doesn't feel as much as it's relying on 80s nostalgia anymore, and that makes it feel like it's not a retread of what's already been done. This might also just be because Dua Lipa owns this sound now, and she confidently is making it into her own here. I love the synth groove this song has throughout. The song stays energetic, and I love how different Dua Lipa's vocals sound here. She goes for a more mysterious vibe, which works as she references the famous titular magician Harry Houdini to create the idea that if someone wants to be with her, they better give her a good reason or else she'll be gone for good. What a fun song from front to back. As much as I really like Wargasm's more punk rock and hardcore stylings, this song going for a more digital and synth styling in parts really sets this one apart and makes it easily the best thing the band has done. On this song, the very talented duo makes something that manages to be both intense and catchy. I love the vocal trade-off between Sam Matlack's chaotic screams and Milky Way's more controlled but still well-done shouted and rapped vocals. The two create something here that is propulsive the whole way through. It's tough not to get hyped up here and have fun with the flexing happening. Also, it's pretty great that Milky Way compares herself to Sarah Connor and Ripley. This song just shreds all the way through, and I can't help but have a great time. Code Orange goes full 90s here, and it pays off for them in dividends. The unique guitar work feels rather different from anything the band did on Underneath, creating a totally different vibe that feels right at home in the fall season. This song feels like a monster origin story, someone becoming who they were meant to be, but not in a good way. Still, the song manages to have fun with the storytelling, building up the eerie atmosphere until the big payoff comes with Billy Corgan's haunting and bizarre verse. And then after that comes the musical explosion that was always going to happen, and it is a delight to hear. Code Orange is continuing to innovate with their sound, and I am going to continue to eagerly be there to witness it as long as this is the quality that we keep getting.
Fuck it, it's fine.
Yes, I know that he's my ex, but can't two people reconnect? I only see him as a friend. The biggest lie I ever said.
I'm not going to harp on this song too long since this was already on my best hits list, but yeah, of course this song was going to have a spot here as well. Olivia Rodrigo takes her best qualities and refines them into gold on this song. I love that she ramps up her wry sarcasm and self-awareness in a way that feels charming, when it could so easily veer into being annoying. I love the way the music builds in the pre-chorus, particularly when Olivia debates with herself whether she should hook up with her ex or not. But of course, she knows no matter how much internal monologue she has, she's going to do it anyway. And then comes the release in the chorus, where she tries to make excuses, but ultimately knows that that's just what they are. I love what this song does more and more the more I think about it.
Tell me how to say goodbye. Peel away the shame so I can tear apart my ribs.
This song by Red really creeped up on me in an unexpected way, slowly but surely becoming my favorite song off Rated R. The reason I like this song so much is that, unlike some of the other songs on that album, this one takes its time to build up what it's doing and creates a really beautiful atmosphere in the process. I wish we'd had more moments like this on Rated R, but I'll take what I can get. Red embraces pop and electronic elements here, and they do it in a way that feels seamless with the always beautiful orchestration. Michael Barnes' voice is great here, and I love how he's able to effortlessly transition from being more accessible in the first half to being more gritty when the song transitions into a full-on rock climax. This song discusses the desperation of wanting to let go of the darkest parts of yourself. This is pretty typical Red territory, but the song frames it in a way that feels fresh, and I just love what this song accomplishes.
You could take that chance, you could take your life. Imagine all the pain that you'd leave behind.
For as much as I liked Amberlin's EP last year, the Convinced EP this year saw them fully realizing their potential. I love that they actually embraced the more intense parts of themselves for the first time in quite a while, and still managed to keep their identity intact. But funnily enough, even though it was a delight to see them bringing back their rock roots, I still ultimately chose an Amberlin song that more represents their late era. But come on, Amberlin and synth rock go hand in hand. Stephen Christian's vocals are perfect for this genre. I love how reassuring the song is, as Stephen reaches out to a struggling friend saying, "I won't let up, no, I won't give in," like two blood brothers at the end. It's a deeply felt song where you can tell what Christian means what he says, and the gorgeous musicality only serves to enforce it.
Except enjoy the view when there's nothing there.
I am always happy when a classic, straightforward rock song is able to make my list. That's exactly what this Queens of the Stone Age song is. The guitar work is front and center and sounds just like what you'd expect from the band. Josh Homme's iconic voice is a delight to hear in this context. It's undeniably fun to hear a talented band just being at the peak of their talent, and pretty much this whole song represents that for Queens of the Stone Age, and what a great fact that is. Creeper embraces theatricality and showmanship to a huge degree on this song, and it puts a huge smile on my face as a result. The way this song is crafted almost feels like a relic of 80s classic rock, but still the noticeable Creeper aesthetic is put on top of it. Literally everything about this track works for me. The guitar riff that feels instantly iconic, Will Gould embracing a vampiric menace, a chorus that soars off the page, choral vocals that seamlessly work, and of course Hannah Greenwood's excellent vocal harmonies. Creeper creates a song here that actually ends up being almost as good as Black Rain, which is a pretty tough thing to do, but I really do like this song, and it might be one of my top 5, maybe even top 3 by Creeper at this point. And speaking of bands at the peak of their talent, in my humble opinion, this might be one of the band's best songs to date. It makes sense that this song appears on their self-titled album, as this feels like the culmination of all that talent that the band has shown for years. I love what this song does from beginning to end, with the simple guitar riff starting out, and then the song continuing to build on top of that. Where it goes is not exactly what you're going to expect, but the end result is excellent, with an ending that leaves me with chills. This song sees a character suffering from alcoholism, and because of that, his life is blending one day into the next. He desperately wants an escape, and it seems like the ending of the song is finally where he gets to do that. The song is beautifully realized in its thematic arc, and it is a masterful entry from a band who continues to do great things. If Destruction were a song, this would be the song to associate with it. Man, Brand of Sacrifice somehow continues to ramp up their intensity in creative ways that leave me shocked. This song is a perfect example of that, especially in how it is able to effectively incorporate clean vocals without sacrificing the band's intensity, something that can be pretty tough to do. I like that a deathcore band like Brand of Sacrifice is trying new things like this, as it opens the door for this genre to move in directions like that and make it work. The guitar work here is mind-bending, and there is a breakdown that will just leave you breathless. What an excellent song.
Take me back to all the days, 'cause I'm afraid I'll never be the same.
Resolve discusses midlife crisis in a way that feels appropriately existential and filled with dread on this track. It's pretty amazing how uniquely they managed to frame it when there's so many songs with this type of subject matter out here. Anthony lays out a story of how as he gets older, it seems more enticing to fall into dark traps, because what's the point of trying? Death is only becoming more inevitable, so why not accept it instead of living with the fear of, well, living? I love how well the band highlights the contradictions here and really taps into the biggest flaws of the human condition. Anthony desperately relies on nostalgia, wanting to go back to older times where he actually felt like he had a reason to care about being alive. I like that there's not necessarily a solution to this song, as the headspace is one that is not that easy to get out of. Truly a very cleverly done track from a band that I'll continue to keep my eyes on.
I am not strong enough to be your man. I try.
The supergroup of Boy Genius here makes the song that is a really poignant contemplation on having insecurities in a relationship. The song is pretty straightforward and is brutally honest about the fact that each of the band members feel like they're not strong enough to truly be everything the other person wants them to be, whether it's because of their own insecurities or struggles with mental illness. Tonally, I think the song nails the bittersweet vibe with the soft guitar work and the beautiful vocal harmonies that are interspersed throughout. Leave it to Project 86 to be one of the few bands who actually understands how to make a 1984-esque dystopian society concept and actually understand what Orwell's story was trying to say, rather than just bending the story to fit their political whims. Here the band discusses the idea of everyone becoming a hive mind, all of us becoming mindless drones under one ideology. Musically, Project 86 embodies this concept perfectly, with Andrew screaming in a militaristic, commanding way, taking on the persona of Omni, the all-seeing government entity, in the song and throughout the concept album it's from. It's pretty awesome to see Project 86 taking on a more metalcore styling here, as it works majorly to their advantage. This song is punishing from front to back, and is potentially one of the band's best songs that they've ever made.
Turn you to a sleepwalker. Dream of me wherever you go. If I take you home, I'll turn you to a...
This song might be one that's shamelessly built for radio success, but I'll be honest, I really don't care. I had too much fun with this song for it to ever really bother me. Ava Max proves here that she is a pop vocalist who deserves more recognition than she gets, as she actually takes inspiration from artists like Dua Lipa and Lady Gaga and does something interesting with it. I like how the song is about this guy who can't stop thinking about Ava even in his dreams. This is further represented by how unstoppably catchy the song is. The fact that you can't get it out of your head is sort of the perfect way for this song to play out with the themes that it has. There's even a sort of surprising guitar solo here that somehow manages to work and make the song even more of a delight to hear.
When the darkness comes, I beg you don't fall there.
I wish that the Currents album this year had resonated with me more than it did, but I'm still glad I heard it, because otherwise I would have missed out on this superb track. There are so many things to love about this song, but at the forefront of my mind is the insanely good guitar work. I just can't stop being blown away by how masterful it is every time I come back to this song. And then there is a subject matter where the band is wanting to leave behind depression and anxiety, but can't seem to do it. So instead they beg for the listener to not follow them there, as they don't want anyone else to become a part of their waking nightmare. There is so much for metalcore fans to love about this song, so if you haven't checked this one out yet, I strongly encourage you to do so.
What a wonderful born and unforsaken. He's my broken piece to form.
After a pretty long break between albums, it was so exciting to see Theocracy back and reliably excellent as ever. Theocracy is one of the few Christian bands out there who can have such explicitly Christian lyrics and still make it feel compelling. It's because they know how to tell stories in a way that feels appropriately epic and biblical. You actually feel interested while listening to their songs. Mosaic is exhibit A of this, with guitar work that gets you immediately invited into what this song is offering. I like how the band metaphorically paints a picture of how all aspects of life coalesce together into what God has planned for everyone, both the good and the bad. It's probably one of the best songs about God I've heard in quite some time, so do yourself a favor and see what this awesome band has to offer.
I'll make myself a fool for you.
It seems to me that Nothing But Thieves can basically do whatever they want at this point, and they'll turn it into gold. So many rock bands out there have tried to embrace the 80s pop trends, but yet most of them miss what makes the said trends work. But of course, this band doesn't, and Do You Love Me Yet is the most compelling evidence of that. This song sounds like something that Boston or Electric Light Orchestra would make. Heck, the band even references ELO in this song. But the band is still very much so able to put their own spin on it. I like how this song highlights Connor Mason's insecurities about how he can get a fan base to love him while still wanting to do what he loves. But he realizes that the nature of a fan base is unreliable. If you make one wrong move, then your fans will just as easily ditch you and move on to someone else. Does it really matter who your band is loved by? The questions this song asks are interesting, and that is only accentuated by a great combination of synth and guitar work, especially in the driving chorus. I like how the song briefly gets sort of spacey too in the bridge, taking you into another dimension before seamlessly taking you back to Earth. This is yet another slam dunk in a series of them for Nothing But Thieves.
I believe you're always in my corner. I did it to myself.
This song is the perfect encapsulation of why Carly Rae Jepsen is such a critical darling in the pop landscape. Here she creates something that manages to be accessible, but still feels almost entirely different compared to a lot of other pop cuts you might hear. Carly might be at her most vulnerable in this track, creating an image of herself where she reveals how hard a time she has at self-love. She does not see herself as deserving of love in some ways. Nothing really matters to her, but then she gets in a relationship where she says that she does matter to her partner. The message of this song is incredibly powerful. The fact that you can't truly be in love if you don't have self-love. If Carly isn't able to love herself, then she will hurt those that she loves the most because of her lack of self-investment. And man, musically this song is gorgeous. I love how smoothly Carly's vocals play against the beautiful synth work. This is easily one of my top 5 favorite songs of hers to date.
We were going down Hellfire Road.
I know a lot of people prefer Luke Combs' heartfelt ballads, and usually that's the case for me as well. But wow, this song is so irresistible. Hearing pure country rock done well is a rarity, but that's exactly what we get here. This song fits very well thematically with Luke Combs' album from this year, Getting Old, as this one looks back on a more innocent time in Luke's life where he had this relationship and felt unstoppable in the midst of it. This song is a celebration of childhood innocence and of living life to the fullest. You know you're in for a treat with this song when you first hear the frantic drum work and then the guitar work barreling in. Luke sounds so confident on this song, and you can just tell that he had fun. And yeah, it's a fun track, so why not jump along for the ride? What a great return to form for Fall Out Boy. I was not at all expecting for the band to make such a big comeback like this after the disaster that was Mania. But the band clearly took all the critiques to heart, went back to basics, and they are all the better for it. I love how this song begins with some orchestration that seamlessly transitions into the guitar work, and from there, the song just goes off. Patrick Stump sounds great on the vocals, and in many ways this song feels just like something that would fit perfectly on any of Fall Out Boy's earlier works. It still manages to feel fresh though. The chorus will have you singing along right away, and the guitar work will have you banging your head in a live setting. It's good to have you back, Fall Out Boy. You know, in some ways I want to say that this song was overhyped by the multitudes of people who started singing the praise of Sleep Token. But that would be a lie. This song got viral for a reason. What it does in its nearly 7-minute runtime is nothing short of impressive and masterful. There is a vibe created here that makes you want to understand what this band is all about. You know that there is something lying underneath the surface, and you want to peel it back. Here, Vessel treats this love interest he has with an almost religious devotion, saying things like, "Raise me up again, take me past the edge, I want to see the other side." Usually comparing love with religion annoys me to no end, but the way that Sleep Token is developing an intriguing atmosphere here makes it feel totally earned in this context. The way this song shifts throughout its runtime keeps it consistently engaging. There's a breakdown done in the song that is absolutely crushing, but that isn't even the best that the song has to offer. That would be the almost jazz funky-like outro that left me in shock the first time I heard it. It's so beautifully executed and ends off the song in a way that makes it incredibly hard to forget.
Just one time, big stick. All that money get flushed in the blink. Shut a dribble, go give me a ring. You got money, you don't gotta think. All this crack is soft.
Much like the rest of the JPEG Mafia and Danny Brown collaborative album this year, this song is absolutely wild and unpredictable. And yet, somehow it manages to be oddly catchy and coalesce into something that is very interesting. I think every artist here contributes something incredible, and Red Veil might actually come away shining the brightest with a very impactful verse. The production on this track is wild, with a sample that is utilized in a way that is innovative and wholly interesting to hear throughout the entire song. This track crafts something that not many other rappers in the scene would be able to replicate. Truly impressive stuff, and this is totally deserving of such a high placement on my list. As much as I really liked the more straightforward progressive hard rock sound of Virus, Haken really leveled themselves up with Fauna this year with a sound that has much more beautiful textures and embraces more melodic, freeform song structures. Sempiternal Beings is a perfect example of this, as this song builds throughout its almost 8.5-minute runtime, and it is nothing short of impressive in how it does that. This track stays consistently innovative, throwing new ideas at you without being overwhelming. The song embraces the massive weight of mortality of the idea that we all have to accept at one point in our lives that they're fragile and they could end at any time. It's interesting that they hone in on this idea via jellyfish in the song, only adding to the bizarre, surreal feeling this track has. I'm so glad that Haken continues to be a very creative voice in the world of progressive rock.
We are broken bodies bound for each other. In the end,
Silent Planet absolutely blew my mind with the direction they went in this year, and in the best way possible. What they do in this song actually made me say whoa out loud the first time I heard it. Garrett Russell, lead singer of the band, said this song is about the aftermath of a devastating car crash and the feeling that he had of being stuck between two worlds, almost suspended in time. Musically, this song sort of perfectly encapsulates that, as it shifts between surreal beauty and soul-shattering destruction in an instant. The two contrasting aspects of this song somehow never feel contradictory, but instead complement one another perfectly. I love how sometimes Garrett's screams will be against the beautiful synth work, while at other times the crushing guitar work will be right against Garrett's more soothing clean vocals. This new direction from Silent Planet was very much so welcome, and proves that they are one of the most interesting bands in the genre right now. If you had told me back in 2017 that Lil Yachty would be close to making my top 10 songs of any particular year, I would have said that you were crazy. But here we are in 2023, and that is very much so the case. Lil Yachty might have done the most unexpected thing possible and made a shift to psychedelic rock that actually works in his favor. There are not many rappers out there who can make such good genre shifts, but he did it. This song feels directly inspired by Pink Floyd and manages to be a great homage to that band. Lil Yachty's auto-tune vocals work seamlessly with this direction, and you can tell he's actually invested in what he's doing here. It doesn't feel like he's doing this just to be interesting or different, but rather because he enjoys working in the genre. The ending few minutes of this song are just stellar, with a build-up that goes absolutely insane with the backing female vocals. This was easily one of my best surprises of the year. Yeah, based on the sample you just heard of this song, it sounds like pure electronic rock cheese. And in all honesty, it is. But I love it in all of its cheesy glory, and I would be lying if I didn't. This one should probably be in my top 10 because of how much I shamelessly listen to it, but if I'm honest with myself, it isn't better than any of the other 10 songs above it. Still, this one is going high because it was one of my anthems of the year. Not many songs could get me hyped like the chorus of this track. This song is just so pure and sincere in how it plays out, and it has a sort of nostalgic feeling to it I can't resist. This song feels straight out of the 2010s rock playbook, with all the loud synth work and gang vocals used, but those are all the reasons I love it. Solon's create a great mainstream rock song that feels like a part of another time, and it's something I can't get enough of. If something is appealing to my teenage years, it's going to win points, and that's exactly what this song does.
You never cared for us, just throw your head up when it's glorious force control.
Alright, now it's on to my top 10, and man, I'm so excited to talk about what I think is a very stellar list of 10 great songs. And we're starting with Wireless by the symphonic rock band Within Temptation. Within Temptation continues to be one of the best to do it in the symphonic metal genre. If you need convincing of that, then this song will more than do the trick. What I really appreciate here is that the band decides to go for a much more intense route here than what we're used to from them. There's even a sort of breakdown in the song, something that Within Temptation has not done before, and it's very well executed. The heavy music works well with the equally heavy subject matter attached to it. This song is about war, and about how the media propagandize that war is for a good cause, but ultimately they only care about the war in context of the political points that will be gained, not the people that it traumatized in return. The song is pretty visceral in discussing this with songs like You Never Cared For Us, Just Our Halo, with its glorious force to draw more souls in. This song has relevant and timely subject matter, and is definitely one of the band's most hard-hitting to date, in more ways than one. It's not often that you can classify a pop song as also having a highly epic scale, but that is the case in this cut. Jessie Ware makes something that is positively immaculate from beginning to end, progressing in really cool ways over its 5-minute runtime. Jessie's voice is silky smooth, confidently establishing the possibility that she can start anew, whether it's in her real life or in her musical journey. The energy here is infectious and very easy to latch onto. You get convinced of Jessie's thesis. It's so much fun to follow along with the journey of the song, ultimately ending up in a place that is highly satisfying by the end. This is easily my favorite pop song of the year, just because of how masterfully it innovates within the genre. Back to basic metalcore can be great when it's done right, and Bury Tomorrow is clear proof of that claim. This isn't doing anything particularly new for the genre, and yet I still love it. I've always respected Bury Tomorrow for the stake they've claimed in the metalcore genre, but I'll admit they've never entirely clicked for me. This song was one that did the trick. The song wastes no time in establishing its fury with a pummeling guitar riff and some of the best drumming I've heard all year in metalcore. And then Danny Winterbase's vocals come in full force, and I'm sold. His screaming style is pretty underrated, and I'm realizing now how I've not appreciated it nearly as much as I should have. Tom's cleans come in after that, and I absolutely love them. He creates a chorus that is absolutely great, and one of the strongest that metalcore had to offer this year. The song stays consistently engaging throughout, and proves that Bury Tomorrow is a band that continues to deserve the high praise and the status within the metalcore space that they get.
Everyone is a bad guy, and there's no way to know.
The more uncomfortably honest Paramore gets, the better they are. You first sees Hayley being pretty frank about how easy it is for her to justify her bitterness. After all, as she claims, everyone is a bad guy, and there's no way to know who's the worst. She acknowledges that she knows that she's flawed, and that's probably going to come back to bite her, but she hopes that it'll get someone before her first. It's a pretty clever way for Hayley to highlight her flaws and her philosophy about life, and she doesn't let herself get off scot-free. The bridge is her basically admitting that she is in fact petty, and that she almost enjoys watching someone else get their reckoning, especially if it's at the expense of it not happening to her. Musically, this song screams classic Paramore to me, with a really fun guitar riff and Hayley showing her signature excellent vocal chops. I don't know when we'll be hearing from Paramore again, but this song was a huge win for them and stayed in my rotation all year long.
And I've always been ashamed that I wanna fall into a dream with my honest.
I think I can confidently say that this is my favorite Spirit Box song at this point. I just haven't been able to stop listening to this track all year long, and can you blame me? Everything that this song does is tailored to perfection. The way the guitar riff plays out, the subtle incorporation of electronics, the seamless shifting between Courtney's cleans and screams, all of it coalesces together to create absolute mastery. This song is pretty powerful in that Courtney is expressing a desire to experience everything she possibly can, but no matter what, life never feels like it's enough. It's sort of an encapsulation of a human experience for a lot of us, isn't it? This striving to find greater meaning no matter what the cost. But even when we do find meaning, we want to push onward to see if we can find more. The song highlights the dangers of becoming jaded to life in a poignant way. I don't usually put much stock in the Grammys, and nor should anyone else, but I am still happy that this one got nominated, as I think it's definitely one of the best pieces of art this year had to offer.
Cold shoulder at closing time, you were begging me to stay till the sun rose. Strange words, come on.
My favorite hit song of the year is also easily one of my top 5 favorite songs of the year. This song hits you hard, and you don't even see it coming the first time. Breakup songs are so dime a dozen these days that you need something truly interesting to happen in order to win people over. This song does exactly that. Zach Bryan and Casey Musgraves together take on the role of a couple who are both reeling in the aftermath of a toxic relationship. Both wish that they could forget how this relationship affected them, but the exact opposite happens. The detail in the song is devastating. The way that Zach Bryan's ragged vocals contrast with Casey's smooth, clear ones is excellently executed and makes for a very effective duet. Both artists get the chance to tell their part of the story, backed up by a simple guitar work and piano that only serves to add to the heartbreak.
Guilty free, don't you see? In a world designed for you and me, holding on to excellence, messianic defamation.
Here, Tesseract creates one of the most musically impressive soundscapes of the year in Legion, a song which blew me away with new discoveries each time I returned to it. While I really enjoy the technical prowess of the track War of Being, this one's emotional arc really gets to me. The beauty of the song is undeniable too. with Daniel Tompkins hitting some gorgeous high notes that really feel like they shouldn't be humanly possible. The song goes on a powerful journey of someone desperate to regain their humanity. You can feel the desire there when Daniel Tompkins sings out, "I don't want to feel this way, same as yesterday, please lead me home." The way this song progresses is equally powerful and unpredictable in measure. I love the mindset that this song puts me in. It just transports you to another world. Tesseract shows just how much they are capable of here, and in the process, they create a masterwork that deserves everyone's attention. Following the tragic death of lead guitarist Ryan Sue, gone way too soon, a lot of Polaris' album this year, Fatalism, hits a lot harder when you look into its subject matter. This album is filled with topics of death, loss, mental illness, and coping with tragedy. It's a really vulnerable and heart-wrenching album with some of Polaris' most brutal lyrics to date in more ways than one. Dissipate hits like a freight train in this regard. Musically, this song has moments in it that might be the most intense Polaris has gotten. The guitar riff drops in hard and hits you in the best way possible. The song just wholly impresses me in everything that it does, from the chorus that soars to ethereal heights each time it's sung, contrasted with the verses where the screams are harsh and brutal to the touch. The song sees the band wanting to extricate themselves from their darker instincts, but seeing no way out. The past still haunts them, and they can't outrun it no matter how hard they try. The way the song ends with Jamie Hales screaming, "Tear the thorn out that's in my side," brings tears to the eyes and leaves this song with an undeniable impact for me. This song came out early this year, like in January early, but it stuck with me all throughout, as you can tell by this track's very high and deservedly high placement. Periphery creates something here that is as wild as the title implies it should be. In many ways, this is one of Periphery's most ambitious songs ever, with a very unconventional structure, and if you know Periphery, you know that's saying a lot. The guitar riff here feels like an even more unhinged version of Blood Eagle. Spencer's screams take a page straight out of the Juggernaut era, and the chorus is a satisfying bow to tie all of this up. It's pretty cool how the song is able to bring it together in the chorus when Spencer sings out, "I'm burning like wildfire." The whole song was meant for this moment, and Periphery is able to convince you of that. But they don't let you stay comfortable for long, taking you back into wild screams and an insane guitar solo. And then, the saxophone solo comes in. And this song might take the cake for the best usage of the saxophone trope yet. You know you've witnessed the apex of the band's creativity at this point, and you can't just help but smile when you hear this. The way this song effortlessly changes into jazz for a brief time is not something that should ever work, but it just does. And then the song transitions again back into the chorus, and everything feels just as it should. I can't sing this song praises enough. And at number one, and this song, there was really no competition, to be honest, because this one, it got to me in so many ways, and that is Without a Whisper by Invent Animate. In the album Heavener, Invent Animate perfected their sound. They created something that not many other bands in their genre can compete with, combining gorgeous, ethereal atmospheres with hard-hitting metalcore sensibilities. Invent Animate expertly traverse these two genres in a way that makes it feel like this genre is within their very DNA. There were so many wonderful moments from Heavener, but Without a Whisper was always going to be my favorite. Subject matter-wise, this song is not an easy listen. The song is about guitarist Keaton Goldwire's loss of his grandmother. The way the lyrics talk about this loss are equally beautiful and tear-jerking in measure, with lyrics like, "Are you going away, to the place we used to dream of, radiance and grace, the warmth I only ever knew." How can you not feel the loss expressed in this in the deepest of ways? This song, it sort of feels like a reassuring hug in a way. The song wants to find a sense of heaven in the midst of a devastating loss. Does the song find it? Well, it's not really answered, but I think that's fitting. Trying to make the loss of a loved one tangible is so tough to do, and trying to understand the possibility of an afterlife is even harder to imagine. This song tries to find hope somewhere in between. It does so in a way that doesn't discount the hardships of losing a loved one, nor does it invalidate the possibility of you seeing your loved one again in another life. This song is so powerful and deeply affecting. Musically, Invent Animate reached some incredible heights here. I just love how beauty and tragedy both permeate in the song, reaching an emotional climax in the final iteration of the chorus, where Marcus lets out a high note that just hits hard every time I hear it. What a masterpiece of a song, and easily deserving of my #1 spot. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the top 50 best songs of 2023. I feel like I had such a good list here, and I hope you check out some of the songs I mentioned here, especially my top 10, because there's just some real quality all around here. But what were your top 50 favorite songs of the year, or just a couple of your favorites? Let me know in the comments down below. And once again, my name is James, and I do reviews of both music and movies, along with the occasional commentary piece. And this will be my last video for December and for the year, so until I see you in January, Merry Christmas for those of you who celebrate, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year. But I will be seeing you all again in January, hopefully with an update video, as well as with my movies lists, which I'm very excited about. But until then, I will see you all in the next video.